for today. And yes, definitely, this is the first and ever Grand Slam beauty pageant, which organized the contest due with the COVID-19 situation that happened around the world. I must say that we are so proud that Miss Grand International has been so nicely and beautifully incorporating the government health and safety measures that our lady will answer Miss Grand International 2021 Grand Final Show on 4th December.
Queen of the Kingdom of Ndongo, a warrior, fearless woman who led at a time when it was imaginable to have a woman as the leader of an army. Njinga did not let the fact of being a woman stop her from fighting to make the kingdom of Ndongo independent. Njingo is a symbol of resistance, and with the same high spirit, with the same strength and courage, Miss Grand Angola. Miss Grand Argentina. The Tulip Field located in Treveland, a town of Chubut near the Andes mountain range. These fields stand out for their wonderful and colorful contrast with the rest of the natural landscape, full of rocky mountains, to evoke the shiny refractions of light made by the sunrise when it touches the dewdrops that bathe the tulip fields every morning during springtime and make them appear almost crystal made. Miss Grand Argentina. Miss Grand Armenia. The Armenian costume called Taraz is dominated by the colors of the four elements: earth, water, air and fire. Armenia is one of those places where metal adornments are very meaningful. The theme of red incorporated within the entire piece is also the first color in the Armenian tricolor flag. It represents the bravery and resilience of the Armenian people to maintain their freedom. Miss Grand Armenia. Miss Grand Australia. Ulysses butterfly is a large swallow-tailed butterfly of Australia. It is a brilliant electric blue color with a wingspan of about 10.5 centimeters. This butterfly is used as an emblem for tourism in Queensland, Australia, the home of the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree Rainforest, the world's coldest tropical rainforest. Miss Grand Australia. Miss Grand Bangladesh. Miss Grand Bangladesh's costume is a tribute to the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh's independence. It is inspired by the water lily, which is the national flower and crest of Bangladesh. The blossom symbolizes peace, love, enlightenment, and unity. This national costume celebrates the calmness of the water that the organza water lilies sit in as they sway to the breeze of the Silk Cave. Miss Grand Bangladesh. Miss Grand Belgium. This national costume inspires everyone to get the best out of themselves. With an ode to Belgian comics writer Willy van der Steen, with one of the longest running successful cartoon character series, Suske and Wiske. Characteristics of the characters are fearlessness, intelligence, curiosity, and good-natured willingness to help another to motivate you. Miss Grand Belgium. Miss Grand Bolivia. The elaboration of this typical costume is based on the recycling of some synthetic materials. The headdress is handcrafted of papier-mâché, lined with synthetic leather. In the center is represented the Lord of the Staves, that mystical being that represents the sun, and is located on the monolith that is called La Puerta del Sol, which describes the position of the sun at any time or time of day. The pheasant feathers that represent the splendor of this culture. Miss Grand Bolivia. Miss Grand Brazil. Boitata, protector of the forests, is a character in Brazilian folklore. The legend of Boitata describes this mythic character as a great snake of fire. It protects animals and forests from people who do them harm, and above all, who carry out fires in the forests. Boitata can transform itself into a burning log with the intention of deceiving and burning the invaders and destroyers of the forests. Miss Grand Brazil. Miss Grand Cambodia. Cambodia has a lot of cultures, such as written language, spoken language, and its own alphabet, as documented in the Khmer history books, Slate Riat. Cambodia has a huge temple, Angkor Wat, the most famous national treasure. Angkor Wat belonged to Cambodia, became a heritage site in 1992. As the saying goes, Cambodia is a rising star. Miss Grand Cambodia. Miss Grand Canada. Costume inspired by the flag of Canada and the pride they feel for belonging to this great nation. An artistic design which demonstrates the beauty of Canadian women and the majesty of their national symbol in a range of very vibrant colors. The perfect mix between fantasy and reality. Miss Grand Canada. Miss Grand Chile. Representative costume of Chilean culture and indigenous roots, iconography and textiles. Miss Grand Chile. Representing the Caribbean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean, which are all connected to this magical country, means symbolizing the primary source of connection between humankind through the exchange of different cultures, knowledge, perspectives, and ideas that bring harmony to the world. Miss Grand Colombia. Miss Grand Costa Rica. Inspired by the Costa Rican jade tradition, jade is one of the most precious materials of pre-Columbian Costa Rican society, and it was used by their ancestors as a symbol of power, Nowadays, they have a national museum dedicated to the Costa Rican jade tradition. Miss Grand Costa Rica. Miss Grand Cuba. Ocean is one of the most important deities that exist within the Yoruba pantheon. She is the patron saint of Cuba and the queen of the waters of the river, a very brave and beloved goddess by her followers, since she brings fortune and riches to those who come to her. The knowledge of her and her power allowed her to be recognized as the queen and patron of Cuba, better known as La Caridad del Cobra, Miss Grand Cuba. Miss Grand Curacao. The inspiration for this fantasy has been the windmills on the island of Curacao that have been in use for centuries to pump water on Curacao. The wind farms on Curacao are considered the pioneer and standard bearer for all other Caribbean wind farm projects. Curaçao's strong breezes have provided water at remote sites. They've been generating electricity in recent years, and hundreds of them still irrigate orchards. Miss Grand Curaçao. Miss Grand Czech Republic. The majestic noble eagle, which is the state symbol of the Czech Republic, Queen of the Heavens, is synonymous with acuteness, intelligence, and natural authority. These traits were ever present in Holy Prince Václav, whose symbol was an eagle. An important part of the national costume is the crystal face mask, making reference to the protection afforded to us in fighting with COVID-19. Miss Grand Czech Republic. Miss Grand Dominican Republic. Inspired by national flowers, La Cayena, which in turn symbolizes abundance, well-being, and joy. The merengue that runs through skin with its own colors that star flag. The red represents the blood shed by liberators. The blue expresses that God protects the Dominican nation. And the white cross is the symbol of the struggle of liberators to be queen of free homeland. Miss Grand Dominican Republic. Miss Grand Ecuador pays tribute to the Llama-Tonku culture, especially to its identity and pre-Columbian clothing, accentuated in the archaeological figures and pieces found, and also reflects the laborious handcraft artwork of our ancestors, who left a list of mythical legends, beliefs, and customs as cultural legacy to the country for generations. Miss Grand Ecuador. Miss Grand Egypt. Costume of Queen Cleopatra. The costume has 4 colors: gold, white, blue, and red. White is for the gown. Gold represents the Egyptian gold, a symbol of Egypt's richness, and a gold necklace in the form of the wings of Horus, the sky god. Blue is associated with Ammon, the god of air, while the red color stands for power and bravery. The costume also contents of phoenix ornaments. Miss Grand Egypt. Salvador. Costume inspired by the Ned Japan's tradition of the fireballs, commemorating the fight between the patron of Nejapa San Geronimo Doctor and the devil, in which it is said that both threw fireballs in a fight. Miss Grand, El Salvador.